Welcome back to The Deep Dive, where we take your stack of sources, articles, research, financial reports, you name it, and we compress it all into the essential knowledge you need. Today, we are tackling English football. But, and this is the important part, we are completely ignoring the glittering spectacle of the Premier League.
Exactly. We're stepping off that billion-dollar merry-go-round.
And heading deep, deep into the substrata of the game.
That's right. Our mission today is to really analyze the English Football League pyramid, which is, it's so much more than just a league system. It's a vast cultural and financial ecosystem.
So we're defining its scale, looking at the local cultures.
And most critically, we are tearing apart the sort of economic contradiction that sits right at its heart.
And we've used a really fascinating range of materials for this, from systemic analyses to financial reports and even firsthand interviews with players.
So if you've ever been captivated by that romance of a small club climbing the ladder, this is for you. We want you to walk away from this understanding the sheer, almost ridiculous scale of the structure.
And the extreme financial fragility that underpins that dream, far, far below the global spotlight.
Let's get into it.
Okay, let's start with the structure. We call it the pyramid, but our sources suggest that term, well, it doesn't really do justice to the scale, does it?
Not at all. They describe it feeling more like an inverted skyscraper, with its foundations rooted deep in the ground. It is genuinely the most developed and expansive sports system in the world.
And when you try to calculate the total size,
the
numbers just become abstract.
They really do. By various estimates we've seen, the system is built from more than 140 leagues.
We're in 140.
Covering around 480 divisions and ultimately connecting, get this, over 7,000 clubs.
7,000. That's not a simple stack, it's a web.
It is. And the thing holding it all together is that foundational principle, promotion and relegation.
So theoretically, a local Sunday league team could start climbing today and just never stop.
That theory is the absolute lifeblood of the whole system. The successful clubs go up, the least successful go down. But, and this is a crucial nuance from the source material promotion, is never purely about what happens on the field.
So you're saying it's not enough to just finish first?
Absolutely not. To move up, especially into the professional levels, clubs have to meet these incredibly stringent criteria.
Which are mostly about what? Money and facilities?
Exactly. Stadium capacity, lighting quality, safe standing areas, and critically, their financial stability.
And this is where that romance often collides with a very hard reality.
Yeah, we see historical cases of teams winning their division, earning that right to go up, only to be denied.
Because their stadium wasn't compliant or they were just carrying too much debt?
Precisely. The system is designed to protect the integrity of the higher levels, which, sometimes comes in the expense of that aspiration.
It's a constant high-wire act.
It is. So just to quickly anchor us, level 1, that's the Premier League, 20 clubs. Below that, levels 2, 3, and 4, that's the English Football League, the EFL.
72 permanent professional clubs.
Right. But once you drop below level 4, you are truly entering the semi-professional and amateur universe.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Because you might just assume that once you're outside the Premier League's orbit, fan interest just, evaporates.
Oh, that is a complete misunderstanding of the depth of English football culture. It just defies that common sports logic that interest is all centralized at the top.
The support at the lower levels is massive.
It's enormous. Take the championship, level 2, it averages almost 19,000 spectators per match.
Wait. Level 2 averages 19,000 people a game.
19,000. That figure alone places the championship in the world's top 10 leagues by attendance.
That's incredible.
It regularly surpasses the average attendance of the entire top divisions in major football nations like Brazil, Portugal, and Belgium.
So a second-tier league is outdrawing the top flights of other countries.
That's the definition of systemic depth, and it doesn't stop there.
Right, because level 3 is still huge.
League 1, level 3 still averages around 10,600 fans per match. And even level 4, League 2 averages 5,800 spectators. Then you hit level 5, the National League.
Feels semi-pro.
And it averages about 3,500. The scale is just relentless.
To give you, the listener, a concrete point of comparison, if we look at pre-war attendance data for Ukraine's top division, their level 1, the average was just under 4,200.
And if you take the two biggest clubs out of that equation, that number drops off a cliff.
So the depth of loyal local support in England is it's globally unique.
And that devotion is what fuels the whole system's core romantic idea. the theoretical dream.
The belief that your small local club could, with enough luck, just keep getting promoted and one day reach the Premier League.
That dream is the emotional motor of the whole pyramid. But the practical reality, especially since the Premier League formed and started hoarding all the money,
The rapid ascent is pretty much impossible now.
virtually impossible. The financial gap is a chasm. The dream is still there, but the time frame is now measured in decades, not a few years.
And the sources gave us some great case studies on this.
They did. Look at FC United of Manchester. They started in 2005 at the 10th level. It took them a monumental 10 years just to reach the 6th level.
And the 6th level is still non-league football.
Still non-league. And that's where their ascent stalled. Or look at AFC Wimbledon, a truly inspiring story. They started at level 9 in 2002. It took them 14 years of continuous promotion to finally reach League One.
14 years. And these are the success stories.
These are the teams that defied gravity. And this is so different from what we see elsewhere. In a place like Ukraine, a single wealthy owner can show up and just bankroll a club from a regional league to the top flight in 4 or 5 years.
The English structure, with its rigid demands, actively prevents that kind of, instant money-driven rise.
It's the system itself saying you can have the money, but you also need the infrastructure, the history, the compliance to move up.
So if the pyramid is so vast, what actually stitches these different levels together? What makes a team at level 10 feel connected to level 1?
That is the crucial function of the cup competitions. They're the great equalizer.
Right, they force teams from totally different worlds to compete.
Exactly. Every small club has that chance, however slim, to host a big professional team and, crucially, earn some much-needed income. You have the FA Cup, the oldest and most famous one.
In the world, yeah.
It involves clubs from the Premier League all the way down to the lowest amateur leagues. It creates those famous giant killings.
Which is the dream, right? Drawing a level 1 team.
It's a financial lifeline. Even reaching the 3rd or 4th qualifying round can mean more revenue for a level 9 club than they make in an entire season.
And then there are cups for specific sections of the pyramid, too.
Yes. So the EFL Cup, the Carabao Cup, that's just for the 92 pro teams. Then for the non-elite leagues, you have the FA Trophy for levels 5 to 8 and the FA Vast for clubs at level 9 and below.
So every single one of those 7,000 clubs has a meaningful knockout tournament to play for.
Which is essential for keeping everyone engaged.
Okay, let's zoom in now, from the national to the hyper-local. We're using Shropshire County as a case study. About 500,000 people. The only pro club is Shrewsbury Town at level 3.
And right below Shrewsbury, you find AFC Telford United at level 7. Their attendance is, 1,000 to 1,500 people?
And the players here are semi-pro.
Exactly. They get paid to play maybe a few £100 a week, but they absolutely need a full-time job outside of football. It's a second career.
And these clubs are like a proving ground. You get former pros dropping down or young players trying to get back up.
That's the pipeline. The Ryan Barnett example, using Telford to get back to Wrexham, that's perfect. Then you dig even deeper to the real grassroots, Shifnal Town, level 9.
Their average crowd is about 200 people.
200 dedicated locals, and a ticket is about £8. It's affordable community entertainment.
But that 200 can jump, can't it?
Oh yeah, it can jump to over 600 for a big FA Cup qualifier. And at the very bottom, in leagues like the Salop Leisure League, levels 11 and 12, it's run almost entirely by volunteers.
People running the lines, making tea, selling tickets, all for the love of the club.
And even the refs. They're paid about £40 a game by the home club. This isn't a business. It's a dedicated hobby that keeps communities together.
Which defines fan loyalty. Further down you go, people support their local team first, but they also follow a big national club.
It's a multi-layered commitment.
Now, let's get the boots-on-the-ground experience.
Yeah.
We have this fascinating account from Vadim Panov, a Ukrainian player in Brighton.
Yeah, he was playing in the Southern Combination Football League, and he describes an environment that is just chaotic, physical, and rugged.
And he said it was hard for players to even know where they were in the pyramid.
It's so fragmented at that level. What really stood out was the chronic lack of fens, especially for the pitches.
Right, he said they were like concrete in the summer.
And frank mud in the rain. Just a constant battle against the elements because there's no money for proper pitch care.
But the financial pressure wasn't just on the club. It was on the amateur players themselves.
This was one of the most surprising things. These players get no bonuses, but they face large fines for everything.
For dirty boots, yellow cards.
Red cards. The club just passes the fines directly to the player because they can't afford to pay them. It actually becomes a financial burden for the person playing.
And that pressure contributes to the style of play. He called it aggressive and mega brutal.
Yeah, he mentioned seeing tackles, jumping in with 2 feet. That would have gotten multiple red cards back home.
And the refereeing can't keep up.
That's a critical point he made. A lot of elderly referees, 50 or 60 years old, who physically struggle to keep up with the pace, they miss dangerous fouls, and it puts player safety at risk.
But off the pitch, the culture was almost unbelievably casual.
A very strange contrast. He'd see players on their phones 5 minutes before kickoff, a level of casualness that would just be unimaginable in a more disciplined setup.
So in the end, even though the money was better, he and his partner just wanted to go home.
The gap between the financial opportunity and the actual quality of life was just too big.
Okay, let's pivot from a chronic lack of funds to the opposite problem. A sudden flood of too much money.
The investment spiral, yeah. The success of projects like Wrexham has created this potent myth that buying a non-league club is prestigious, fun, and maybe even lucrative.
So wealthy investors are flocking to tiers 5 through 9.
And this is the existential threat to the community club model. The motivation is often ego, being a local hero, but it's driving this explosive, unsustainable cost inflation.
I mean, what kind of spending are we talking about here?
The figures are astonishing. South Shields, Level 6, their chairman has put in about $10 million and runs a wage fund of about $1.2 million a year.
And that's not even the highest in their division.
Not even close. Eastbourne Borough's owner spent $600,000 in his first season trying to buy success. It's a spending war.
So if you're a community-run club,
Yeah.
you just can't compete.
You can. And what these new owners are finding is that clubs from a tier below them are offering players more money, all fueled by other new owners chasing the same dream.
The dream being promotion to the EFL, which comes with that $1.2 million in TV revenue.
That's the carrot. But the risk. The financial reality is terrifying. In 2022, the top 3 non-league divisions reported a combined operating loss of $25 million.
$25 million. And you mentioned a key term earlier. 2/3 of those teams were technically insolvent. What does that actually mean for a club?
It means their liabilities, their debts, exceeded their assets. In simple terms, they can't pay their bills. For a community club, one missed payment could mean they just cease to exist.
The system is just structurally fragile.
Driven entirely by the hope of promotion and the ego of owners.
So what does this all mean for the small community clubs trying to survive this?
Well, the sources already provide some excellent guides on this, and they boil it down to 3 core lessons for survival. Realism over dreams.
Okay, what's lesson 1?
It's deceptively simple. Rigorous financial tracking. You have to know every cent coming in and going out. If you don't track your constant versus variable costs, you can't budget, and you've already lost.
And the second lesson is about how you spend that limited money.
Exactly. Strategic investment. Pay down high-interest debt immediately, and you must focus funding on critical infrastructure like pitch upkeep, because ignoring it just leads to way more costly repairs down the road.
And the third principle is about being realistic.
It's prudent forecasting. You have to live within your means and forecast based on a worst-case scenario. Assume no grand funding arrives. Assume you're in a relegation battle.
That realism is what allows true community clubs to survive the recklessness all around them.
Precisely.
So we end with this incredible paradox. The English football pyramid is this world-class system for culture and fan support.
Generating attendance numbers that are just mind-boggling.
Yet at the same time, it's this hugely fragile financial construct, often propelled by reckless spending and constant insolvency just below the top tiers.
That tension between profound fan loyalty and utter financial instability is what defines it. But despite the crushing losses, the system persists. The instability doesn't kill it.
So what keeps the lights on?
It all hinges on this one powerful belief that the financial analysts in our sources pointed out.
And what's that?
There will always be new people, driven purely by ego or emotion, waiting to buy into the dream when the last owner's journey inevitably ends in ruin. The revolving door of emotionally invested wealth. That is the true fragile engine of the lower league.